Hello. So, I was speaking with God today. I'm in the YMCA gym, YMCA gym, and I'm in the tennis area, the racquetball area, which I like playing. I like playing the racquetball. So God showed me some importance on sharing a little bit of my journey. The beginning of my journey. My spiritual awakening, and how I came to be into spirituality and truly starting my personal relationship with God, which I believe is very, very vital and important for people to do. It's not going to church. It's your personal relationship with Him, having conversations with Him, and not just when you're going through some rough stuff. Share the happy stuff with Him too. Just talk to Him about whatever. It doesn't even matter what you talk to Him about. He's always there listening. So I sit down and I talk with Him, I try and do it at least, every once in a while. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't do it every single day, not for long conversations. I do talk to Him every day, but it's more like, oh, okay, I seen that synchronicity. Yeah, I heard that siren. Yeah, like, more like, just letting Him know that, like, I'm seeing the signs kind of thing. But so He put it heavy on my heart to talk about how I came into, I guess harnessing my power back, the power that we have inside of us. All of us do. All of us have power inside of us because, God made us like Him, in the likes of Him. So naturally, we have a lot more power inside of us than anybody knows. Anyways, it's not really anyways, honestly. It's not really anyways, because people really do need to realize just how much power we really have. Like, a lot of people, I feel as though, walk around thinking they don't have any power over their own lives, like, we are very sovereign and free beings. And there's a lot of rules in this world that tell us, oh, well, you can't do that, and you can't do that, and you can't do that. But really, yes, we can. There's a lot of things that we can do. I get that some rules are put in place for a good reason. And others are put in place just to control us, just to keep us from all of that power that we have inside of us. A lot of the world doesn't want you to have that, because then, our top dogs, they're going to feel, like intimidated or whatever, okay, whatever the case may be. But, I think I'm getting a little off subject. Thank you. Okay, so how I first came into this, and I want to try and explain the power behind this. So I'm really gonna try to explain it the best way that I can, because it was very, very, very powerful. Like, I've never felt anything like what I did that day in my entire life, you know, and I felt a lot of special things after that. So about a year ago is when I started this journey, my spiritual journey, and started recognizing myself and remembering who exactly I am and why I came here, you know, why I came to Earth. I was in a really bad relationship, and what you would call a narcissist. I was with a man who was a narcissist for about a 10-year period, so quite a bit of time. It was an on and off situation, you know, we would always break up and then we'd get back together, and, you know, as much as I want to say that, you know, like, why did I do that, and why did I keep on going back and stuff like that, I know everything happens for a reason, you know, everything truly does. And although sometimes it doesn't seem like things are playing in our favor, in the end, they really are. They really are, you know, because it was hard going through what I went through for 10 years. But I know it was for a reason, and honestly, I'm thankful for it. And that, that kind of put a deep feeling in my chest there for a second, because I think that's the first time I've admitted it, you know, on camera, and you know, what's gonna be in front of people. So that's a big step. Good job. But so one day, I had been obviously unhappy in this relationship for a very long time, and so was he, you know, obviously. Ooh. All right, the lights. And it was just a very toxic situation, you know, that neither one of us needed to stay in. Well, one day, we got into like a really bad fight, and I think because I was so worn down, he was so worn down, you know, it was over for sure. But I think that was my breaking point, you know, and I finally hit that breaking point to where I was finally like, enough is enough, you know, I literally can't take anymore. I can't do it anymore. And so I had gone to my bedroom. I closed the door, and like I always did, you know, I would isolate myself until I was better, and then I would come back out and I would move on with my day, you know. But this time it was different. I was breaking down. Oh, this is hard to talk about. I was breaking down, and I just remember tears just streaming down my face, and I pleaded out for help. I was literally screaming at the top of my lungs to help me. And I thought that in my head, I was thinking that screaming out like that, I was yelling for help, you know, and I almost felt like that was the inside of me, yelling out for help, because I knew that that I was at a point that I wanted to, you know, and I thought I was yelling that out to the man that I was with, and I also lived with his mom. And in my mind, I was thinking I was yelling out to them, that hopefully they would hear me, and that that they would care enough to come in there and at least check on me, or something. They didn't. But God did. God did. And I'm sorry. I am so thankful for that day, because I've never felt the amount of peace that I felt wash over my body, my whole entire body. I've never felt anything like that before. And even in that moment, I didn't exactly know what just happened, because I stopped crying. I think I remember my whole body just being at peace, but also like this heat inside of my whole body. It was amazing. And after that point, I think I was also a little bit in shock. It's a weird thing to explain, and I've tried to think about a way to explain like what happened that day. But it's hard, but it was literally the most beautiful feeling I've ever felt. So anyways, I get up and I'm kind of just trying to get my bearings back together so I can leave the room again and go back to my normal stuff. I got the dishes to do, I got, my kids to take care of, I got all this stuff that I need to do. So I got up from my bed and I wiped my tears and I walked out of the room. I think it was about 20 minutes, maybe an hour later. I can't exactly remember the details on that. But I was talking to one of my kids, and I had leaned down to talk to him, and I think I was holding his hands and, my baby. And all of a sudden, I felt like this air, like it was like coming from the top of my head. And I'm not exactly sure if it was coming from the top of my head and up, or if it was coming down into my head. I don't even know. It was a wild feeling, and like I literally didn't feel like, it wasn't like wind on top of my head. Like it wasn't just the outside of my head. It was like almost like it was moving through my head, like into my head. It was wild. Like, so not only did I feel it on the outside of the top of my head, but I also felt it like in my head, okay? Like wild. And I promise you, this actually happened. And to be honest, I kind of want to ask, for anybody who has gone through a spiritual awakening, have you experienced this? And if not, what have you experienced in your spiritual awakening? Because I'm very interested to know. I'm very interested to know. I have told people that I've gone through a spiritual awakening, and I've explained maybe to a few people, like what I went through, like the physical experience to it. But anyone that I have has explained different spiritual awakenings, like they just knew that something was different and that they needed to change their lives. Like, for the most part, that's what I've heard thus far. I haven't actually heard of anybody talking about, you know, that air thing, and I literally don't know how to explain it other than that. Like, that's the best way I know how to explain it. And it was wild. So, let me know. I have now shared this, and I hope you feel the power in it, because it is literally the most magical thing that I've ever been through. I mean, it literally felt like magic. It literally felt like I was, and I've felt some seriously magical things ever since I went through that spiritual awakening. Like, in meditation, sometimes I feel like I'm going through a whole tunnel. Like, my whole body starts spinning. It's wild. It's wild. I see things that I've never seen before. Listen, I watch movies, shows. I'm seeing all kinds of messages, okay? I am seeing all kinds of stuff. You know, it's wild. My third eye has opened completely, and I see the world much differently nowadays. So I would love to hear your stories. So please make a video of it. Express it through the comments on this video. I'm not telling you how to let people know what you've been through, but honey, I want to know, and I'm sure there's others that want to know about it too. So, you got this. Be brave, and have a great day. Merry Christmas to everybody. I know I'm a little late. Only a day late, though. It's alright. Alright, anyways. Love y'all.